Right, so I'm Mark Spark and welcome back to some more transfer talk content. As stated in the title below, I'm going to be talking about Middlesbrough Football Club. I can't stress enough that this video will be based on transfer gossip from the internet and my own personal opinion. I will try to put the gossip sources in the description below, and obviously my own personal opinion may be different to your own, and if it is, why not leave your own thoughts in the comments below. So today I'll be talking about Middlesbrough, the players I think should leave on loan or permanently, the players linked to join the club, and the players I think would improve the club towards staying in the Premiership this season. So Middlesbrough, a newly promoted team to the Premiership, what have they done so far? What are the papers saying, and what do I think personally? The reason why this video has appeared today is due to all of the transfer talk in the past few days surrounding Middlesbrough Football Club. Right, so let's start with the goalkeepers. Borough have 3 goalkeepers, including their newly signing this summer, which is Victor Valdez, the former Barcelona, Manchester United, Spanish international goalkeeper. With a Spanish connection with the manager, Carranca, it's the only reason why I think Borough managed to sign him. Valdez was linked with moves all around the world, from the MLS to China, back to his home country, Spain. He's clearly going to be used as a first choice goalkeeper, and at the age of 34 I'm personally looking forward to seeing what he can do in the Premiership at last. Dimi is the Greek Middlesbrough first choice keeper last season. He may have lost his spot to the team, to Valdez. At the age of 37 he may be on the move. Dimi has played for 5 other British teams. Will the next one be his last? And the third choice keeper, possibly second choice if Dimi does leave, is Thomas Mejias, the 27-year-old Spanish and former Real Madrid player who has played 10 times last season in all competitions, according to Wikipedia. So I can't see Borough goalkeepers changing too much now this season, with the new signing of Valdez, apart from Dimi might be leaving in what I think would be his move now because he's not first choice. I think it will stay the same. So let's start at possibly Borough's weakest spot in defence, at right back. On paper they only have one right back, 26-year-old Emilio Nisu, another Spanish born player. Last season they had on loan Richie Delat, who played most of the season when he was there. I can see them trying to sign him permanently, and going from papers rumours, Borough are interested in improving their right back position with a Belgian right back, Thomas Meunier, who is a 24-year-old right back. If they do sign this young Belgium international, then they should be sorted for this season. Failing that, they might go for Delat. You know, as a backup plan, he's a fantastic right back. So moving on to the centre backs right now, Middlesbrough have 5 centre backs. Ben Gibson, who has played most of last season, came through the Borough Youth Academy at the age of 23. He has already had over 100 appearances for the club. Daniel Ayala, I think that's how you say his last name, has played a few games less than Ben, at around 30 games last season. I had high hopes for this player back in his youth career at Seville, and then he joined Liverpool. I was really hoping to see a whole new level, hopefully this season back in the Premiership, where I get to see this potential improve yet again. Fingers crossed. I really do hope that his ability improves again now he's at the top of the level in the Premiership. Dale Fry is an 18-year-old Borough Youth Academy player that has played a good handful of games last season and may look at a move to the Championship on loan this season for some experience. Alex Baptiste, the former Blackpool centre-back, looks most certain to be leaving the club this season, considering last season he didn't play a single game for Borough and was loaned out to Sheffield United. And finally, a newish signing, it's Bernardo, the 26-year-old Spanish-born player who signed for Borough on a three-year contract. Personally, I can see Borough looking for one more solid centre-back, in which paper gossip and paper talk has shown that Subotic from Dortmund is very close to a move. Estimated value of around £4 to £8 million, which I think is an absolute steal at that price. He's an absolutely fantastic centre-back. In my eyes, Baptiste is on his way out. Fry with a loan out would leave 3 centre-backs, so maybe they might be looking for 5 centre-backs. Kolo Toure is a free agent. With the experience he could offer some of them players would be key for a debut in the Premiership. So finally in defence we move on to left backs. George Friend, vice captain, who has currently played around 175 games for Borough, has been a regular for the team in the last 4 years. I can't see them changing him, and he's not really had much experience in the Premiership, but he's been loyal. He's been there for 4 years now and played near enough every single game. Back up to him is James Husband, 22-year-old English-born player, only played a handful of games for Borough, was loaned out to Fulham and Huddersfield last season. I can't really see them changing their left backs right now, but they might look for someone with a little bit more experience in the Premiership. Moving on to midfielders, Stuart Downing, the man who turned down the chance to play in the Premiership when he left West Ham to join his boyhood team in the Championship back in 2015. Ages against him, he's moved more into a centre position in the last few seasons. He might be a key player this season. A few new signings may make him fight for his spot in the starting 11. You've got Adam Clayton and Grant Leadbiter. They're two CDM players that have been outstanding in the last couple of seasons. They've played like 300 games in 6 seasons. They've played literally every game they can. Adam for sure may not have played as many games as the other two, but with 50 games in 2 seasons, he's another great young English midfielder. You've got Julian Dessart, he's a young Belgian CDM. Personally, I think he should go out on loan and get more experience. Middlesbrough have signed 2 new midfielders this season, one being Martin de Roon, a CDM signed for a reported value of around £12 million, and a cam player who can play wing under the title of Victor Fisher. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player, and I'm sure Tottenham were after him in the January transfer that just went. For midfielders, I think they're sorted. Maybe one more player. Paper Talk suggests Borough are after Jeff Henrik from Derby, and they're also looking at bringing Gaston Ramirez back from their loan. So wingers, we're going on to their wingers now. This is where Borough need to sign a few new faces. They've only really got one key winger, that's Albert Adoma. He's played nearly 150 games in 3 seasons, scoring 26 goals, which isn't too sad for a winger. The other 3 wingers aren't as good. You've got Carlos De Pena, a 24-year-old Uruguay winger who can play left back if needed, and the other 2 are Mustafa Carollo and Adam Reach. They both had loan spells away from the club last season. If Borough sell Mustafa and Adam, then they're definitely looking at least 2 more wingers this season. Paper Talk suggests that they were interested in Polish winger Misha Rubies in January. That was the last time they show any interest in that, and the other signing would have been Leon winger Rachid Gesela. I think that's how you say it. So Borough have 3 strikers on paper as well. Jordan Rode, who they signed for 10 mil from Blackburn, promising Scottish striker, hasn't played in the Premiership yet, so it'll be interesting to see if he can cope. Christian Stuani, who signed for Borough in 2015 as well, played about 40 games for them this season. Their 3rd striker is David Nugan, a former England 1 cap 1 goal wonder. At the age of 31 is probably going to be a backup striker in the Premiership, and he's back in the Premiership. Paper Talks have suggested that Borough are looking for a born goal scorer and willing to smash that transfer record. In the past few days they've been linked with players like Negredo and Jonathan's, or Jonathan's, however you say his name, and even Robin Van Persie. Summary of this video is, with the new signing of Valdez, Bernardo, De Roon and Fisher, they have got a great start to improving their squad this season. I think another 6 players at the max would improve this team absolutely fantastic. Honestly, being a right back, centre back, maybe a centre mid, that's not a big priority. A few wingers and definitely a goal scorer. Finally, before I finish this little talk, I think Middlesbrough have been sensible with their fees and they've spent out so far this season. Paper Gossip suggests that they will continue to spend some money. With the current squad, they shouldn't need to worry about relegation. A solid 14th to 16th in the Premiership. And if they get them other players that I did suggest, then maybe it'll be a mid-table team this year. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below on where you think the team will need improving with transfers this window and where you think they'll finish this season. If you want to see more of these transfer talk videos, hit that like button, leave some feedback below, and if you're new to me, sub to me.